Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirit. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium. Thank you for tuning in for another interesting deep dive of a show this week. As in this week's episode, we're talking about paranormal hotspots. Also in this week's show, we have the channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their communications and wisdom through. And then later on in the show, we have this week's energy forecast reading, which will hopefully help you navigate your way through the twists and turns of this week ahead. So as I say, we're discussing the topic of paranormal hotspots. So what am I referring to when I use this title? I'm talking about no matter where you've been, where you're at, where you're going, there's always energy, and energy can tell a story. Energy can leave a trace there. And also there's different visitors, whether this is from the world of spirit or indeed entities, or shall we say elemental beings as well, displaying or bringing themselves forward in the most unusual of environments. So that's what we're talking about today. So let's get back on topic, shall we? So energy trails. How many of you have experienced this where you happen to be out and about and all of a sudden you start to feel this tingling sensation? You may start to notice changes in your body temperature randomly occurring where there's no other reason. Well, this is potentially because energy trails have been left in that environment. This could also link in with thought patterns as well, because as we know, we're all transmitters and receivers of thought vibrations. So potentially you could be locking into somebody else's thoughts on the pathway that they took and what they was thinking at that moment in time. Now, like I say, this can be in all directions of time. So you could be picking up on somebody's thoughts from maybe the 12th century, for example, because that energy still continues to exist, even though from our human mind, it was from a different timeline. But as we have said on here many times before, there's no such thing as time as such, because it's all happening in the here and now. And so what you will find in paranormal hotspots, you'll pick up on energy from either the living, whether that's thought energy, emotional energy, also the dead, spirits. Now, this can come in two ways. You can have spirits that come in visitation, and they leave an energy signature, a trail behind. And you can pick, those of you that are sensitive, you can pick up on that sort of tingling vibration, a change in temperature, maybe a change and an observation in your own body language changing as you're walking in that area there. And also what the dead can do as well, if they happen to be, shall we say, trapped, not wanting to go over, not wanting to come in visitation, but they're actually anchored in that location. It could be an emotional, traumatic event that has made them stay anchored to that situation. What you will find is they will linger in that vicinity there for whatever reason. And obviously residual energy. So the energy where this is like a replay of an event, or maybe some people call them ghosts, where at a certain time of day they see this apparition or they hear these particular sounds. And maybe this is because there was such an emotionally charged event, or maybe a situation that has left that imprint on that vicinity, on that land, on that building, whatever the place may be. So there's all these potentialities of actually finding paranormal hotspots, and it could even be ley lines as well, the energy grids that are placed around the earth there. And when these grids cross, they create some sort of energy, shall we say. They just emit energy, and sometimes you can pick up on that as well. But in order to observe these, I would certainly say that using your sensitivity is the greatest instrument that you can use. So it's all about connecting in with the body's five senses. And you know yourself when you feel cold, you know yourself when you feel uncomfortable about somebody or a certain building. You feel it, don't you? You know, you have a knowing. And so it's trusting this sensitivity of yours. Now, obviously, you know, through the generations, we've been encouraged to switch our natural sensitivity off. And, you know, we're told that it's mumbo jumbo, or you're just imagining things and all of this sort of nonsense. You all would have heard that at some point or other. So it's about connecting in, ignoring all the naysayers and connecting in with the truth of who you are. And this will lead you to your natural sensitivity. And then you can start to observe the changes, and potentially you can communicate with that energy or have an interaction with the beings or spirits, whatever you want to call this interaction there. So I would say in order to do that is when you're getting a feeling, when you're getting a change in your vibration, this is where you explore it. You can do it on your own, but ideally, when you're starting out doing this, I would certainly recommend that you have either some colleagues there with you where they can ask you questions as you're feeling these emotions, as you're experiencing these different changes in energies. And then by exploring it, asking questions, this will almost like lead little breadcrumbs for you to follow on an energetic level so that you can uncover whatever happens to be happening in the vicinity where you happen to be. Now, speaking about locations, they can be anywhere. Paranormal hotspots can be anywhere. And I've been in some very normal places that you would perceive as being normal, everyday places. And yet I can still feel and pick up on energy, on paranormal energy, the unexplained energy. And, you know, this can be, for me, it can be a bus stop, something as simple as a bus stop. You imagine the amount of people that stand in a bus stop, and either they've got the headphones on nowadays, or they've got thoughts or emotions. They may be on their way to work and they're thinking, oh no, I've got that job to do today, I'm doing that. So there's this thought process that is occurring. There's this energy to back it up there. And so I've been in bus stops as well, where I've picked up on that sort of energy, that sort of negative, foreboding energy from that. So, you know, it's a case of exploring, why am I picking that up? Why am I feeling it? And then it's debunking it and getting and pinpointing what is the issue here. So it's not necessarily ghosts, it's energy that's left, you know, around that vicinity. So I've picked up upon that around bus stops, also bridges as well. Around bridges, obviously you've got usually water going under them, and then you've got something going over the top. So there's like a cross of energies of different either people or animals or natural energy sources occurring. It creates a point there as well, doesn't it? So this can either open up a portal, it can also supercharge or attract higher beings in, and you can pick it up. And you wouldn't necessarily assume that going to a bridge, it looks very normal, very picturesque, but there is an energy exchange, and there is the potentiality for other entities and beings to use that as a means of coming into this dimension. I've certainly experienced that over the years, and it catches you off guard. It's very interesting when you just you explore it a little bit further. It's amazing what you pick up on that. Also park benches as well. How many of you listening to this today have sat on a park bench and all of a sudden, you know, you're picking up a funny sensation? You may be getting alternative viewpoints, thoughts in your mind, maybe some emotions, and maybe you feel whilst you're sat in that bench that you're looking out through somebody else's eyes. You feel a little bit detached from your own physicality, almost as if somebody is stepping in and blending with your physical body as you're sat in that bench. Now, as we know, most places around the world dedicate certain benches to people that have passed in the world of spirit. And this is a means of sort of a nod and a wink and an appreciation for everything that they did, and also a bit like a cenotaph in many ways, that we can remember them. And it's somewhere for like the relatives to go over and to sit there and just to have thoughts of that person where they sat in that bench. Well, like I say, I've been on park benches before where I've picked up on energy, and like I was describing earlier, I felt as if I was sat there very relaxed, very chilled out, and all of a sudden it was as if somebody else was looking through my eyes. It's very difficult to describe the sensation. That's the nearest I can get to it, I would say, in this instance. But yeah, I've certainly had that experience. Also, woodland as well. What you'll find in wooded areas, obviously, most wooded areas are just left to their own devices, and Mother Nature takes over. There's obviously the animal kingdom there as well, but there's not usually lots of human interaction in most woodlands anyway. I've certainly had experiences of nature-based spirits and seeing flashes of light, different sort of circles appearing from nowhere, orbs, you could say, golden orbs, violet orbs, and also noticing beings just coming into our dimension from nowhere. And the way that it looked, to me, it was part of the elemental kingdom that I witnessed, and it was a gnome of all things. And it was like a flash of light. If you recall, in the good old days when you used to have a tube television, and you turn the television off, and there was this massive flash of light, and then it went into like a small circle of light. Well, that's how it appeared to me when I saw this gnome being. I saw it poking its head around this tree stump, looking round at me. I would say it was about the size of a toddler, so, a 2-year-old. But it was a man with a very distinctive beard. Looked almost as if he could have been a character from Lord of the Rings, one of the first films there. And then all of a sudden, I just saw this flash of light, and it went into a small spot, a small circle, and then it disappeared. Now, to my knowledge, what I was told by my guides after seeing that, this was actually, they're very good at flipping in and out of different dimensions, traveling. The gnome community are, and this is what I was witnessing. They were watching me, I was looking for them, and then all of a sudden they shown up, and then they disappeared as quickly as they came in. So I've witnessed that in the wooded areas. There's a lot of elementals that do frequent the wooded areas, and it's only when you're respectful of that surroundings and you have a pure heart and you mean no malice, this is where you'll start to notice and hear and also see some of the elemental kingdom coming to life and revealing themselves to you in these very sacred spots. And generally speaking, they're spots where are left untouched, by the human world, and they're sort of left to their own devices. You're more than likely to have an encounter of this paranormal nature there. Also, what I would say is there's other locations such as roads. There's a lot of accidents that occur on roads, and with the accidents, there can be highly emotionally charged energy that's either implanted into that surroundings, and although, years after the event or whatever, somebody could have actually passed over during the accident, that event on that road, and that emotional energy, that charge is left in that vicinity. And what I would say, just notice when you drive by, or you drive by certain places on roads, and all of a sudden you get a chill to your core. You feel a chill going down your spine, and then a little bit later on, maybe a few hundred yards from that feeling, you see some flowers maybe sellotaped to a tree stump, or you see a little cross at the side of the road there. indicating that someone had passed away and had a tragic accident in that location. So I've certainly experienced that many, many times, and I'm sure a lot of you that are sensitive and open to what we're talking about today will also have encountered some of that as well. Also, obviously, schools as well. There's another location where that can be a paranormal hotspot. Again, all of those infants, all of those children, developing, growing, learning, having supercharged energies. Also, children are nearer to spirit, obviously. And so with that being said, they're more susceptible and open to communicate with spirit. Many people have referred to children talking to their imaginary friends, haven't they? When in actual fact, I would say 8 out of 10 cases are simply the children are more open to this level of activity, and they're communicating with their spirit guide. They see them, they sense them, they can have an interaction with them. So not only that, imagine all of that energy, all that emotion, all of that angst, all of that frustration energy just within the timeline of a schoolyard itself, even in the buildings there. So there's a lot of energy in schools, and I would say you would be very hard-pressed to go to a school and not pick up on any energy or any spiritual activity in those locations because of the usage of that land and those buildings there. Also streets as well. You know, when you're walking up and down the street, again, people are thinking genuinely, if that's such a word, I'm trying to get my words out today. You know, they're thinking. Back in the day, I'm going back to like the 1920s, 1930s, there was no such thing as a Walkman or, you know, Bluetooth or anything like that, or headphones. They just used to walk about, and they would either be whistling, singing, they'd have emotions, they would be thinking the thoughts, maybe what was about to unfold for them in their day, what they was going to say to their loved one. It could be a manner of things. So just by walking down a street, you can pick up on energies, you can pick up on paranormal activity. Maybe this is thought vibration, as we were saying earlier, could be emotional vibrations, even a replay of some kind where there's been an accident or something happening. Or initially, it could be somebody in visitation from the world of spirit that maybe would have had an association with that land, with that street, and they maybe enjoyed walking to their girlfriends or something like that, or their boyfriends, and so they have fond memories of that. And with doing that, they make that free will choice of coming back to have that experience and get those feelings back again in their spirit body. So there's that potential. So I would say keep your eyes and ears open and your senses open wherever you happen to be, because you never know when you're going to walk in to a paranormal hotspot there. So be ready. As we've said, tragic events or places of high vibrational emotional expression can also leave energy trails, creating a paranormal hotspot, such as we've already said, accidents, you know, maybe car accidents, or somewhere where somebody's actually taken their own life as well. Even if there's been a battleground, an old battleground, you know, there's lots of those all up and down the country of the United Kingdom there. And so all of that supercharged aggression, fear, anger, all of those emotions, plus all of the deaths involved with that, will create an energetic soup, being a number one, I would say, paranormal hotspot. Even if that land has been regenerated and built upon, and maybe that land has turned into a shopping centre or something like that, that energy will still be charged in that location there. So, like I say, it pays for you to be open, be observant, and just trust what you're picking up, because even though your eyes are saying, well, this is a shopping precinct, you know, why am I feeling, or why am I getting this feeling of somebody being killed with a sword or something like that, this battle, this aggression in this area? Well, I would say to trust your intuition and maybe explore it further there as well. Having a glimpse also of a past timeline. Now, one of my dear friends told me about this encounter, and he used to go to this. It was regenerated land. It used to be pit land, the miners, the collieries, that sort of land. It was regenerated into a nature reserve, and also they had a coffee shop there. And so he used to go regularly just to unwind, have a coffee, and just to take in nature and look at the birds and everything. And what he did tell me on one occasion, that whilst he was doing this, he all of a sudden started to see Roman soldiers marching down this road by this cafe in a line. And he said he could see them. He said he got a quick flash of them. They were all coloured. He was describing the colours, the way that they was marching, where they was marching to. And then he said that they disappeared. And so upon doing some research, he found out that actually that part of the land at one time would have been a Roman road. The Romans would have come down that area. And so he was connecting in on a previous timeline because he was so relaxed, because he was so comfortable in those surroundings. Again, connecting in with the nature, it opened a part of him up, a perceptive part of him up, where he could explore and actually have a glimpse of that timeline. And this is what he described to me. So it's fascinating. So, like I say, even though it looks very different in our reality, when we relax into life, when we relax into our intuition, you could have that similar experience where you dip into a previous timeline and have a glimpse into it. So that was very interesting to hear about that. And as many of you know, I did a TV show last year called Walking with Spirit. And this was, again, around this theme of this show, Paranormal Hotspots. And so the idea behind the show was to go to locations that you wouldn't necessarily assume were haunted in some places, and also to walk around the locations rather than like staying inside buildings and things of that nature. So I was very much connecting in with the land and the vibration of the land whilst I was walking there. And it's surprising how many paranormal hotspots you come across when you set your intention, when you increase and open up your sensitivity and be willing just to experience the different vibrations that are all around us wherever we happen to be. And so this was fascinating. And what I did discover upon doing this show was I bumped into many different portals that were in the most unlikely places. As I've kind of alluded to earlier, one of them was near a bridge. And it was near a litter bin near a bridge. And how random is that? And I was picking up on entities that were using this portal to come in and out and to tap in to create a fear-based response within people so that they could feed off of that energy. It was rather unusual. And you can watch that in one of the episodes. It was very unusual. Also, I experienced entities as well, using, again, a portal which was in a big old oak tree. And they was using this oak tree to come in and out of this dimension. There was, like I say, entities that were doing that, some not so good, some just curious beings. And then there was a lot of spirit beings that were using this as a portal to come into this dimension. It was rather peculiar, and I was drawn to quite a lot of these portals all over the place. They're in the most random spots. So I would say to spot a portal, you'll know when you're near one because you'll feel this overcharge of energy rushing through your physicality. And if you stay in that location when you're feeling that, what happens to me is I start to rock backwards and forwards, very subtly to begin with, and then it gains momentum and picks up speed. Usually this is the indication for me to let me know that there's an energy portal that I happen to be standing in. Not long after I've felt that, I'm more aware of any entities or spirit beings that are using it as I'm picking up on their vibration. So that has been very interesting. Working on that show last year, I've encountered lots of these paranormal hotspots. And I've had many conversations as well with spirit in that area. Like I say, some of these spirits are just popping in. They're revisiting that part of their life and that land that they happen to be very fond of. Some of the spirits happen to be connected in with that land simply because they had emotional attachment. So they hadn't fully moved over and moved into their timeline. In the world of spirit, they were still connected to that particular land and area there. So I've had conversations with those. And also, I would say with doing this, I always make a point of being respectful and, showing that love to these individuals, because they're taking that time to get to know you. You're taking that time to get to know them. So respect. The more respect you show, the more information that they're willing to share with you. And they will ask you questions as well. So don't just see it as a one-sided experience. Open up to them as well and let them into who you are. And what you will find, you will know if it's a right spirit, because you'll feel the energies are comfortable. Obviously, if it's the opposite of that, then you won't want to tell them too much. But what I would say is also another situation I've been through is actually hearing noises from a different timeline in a location. So a few years ago, I was on a shoot, again, filming a TV show, where we happened to be at an old RAF base. It was out of use. And anyway, we was picking up lots of activity, was being told lots of information by some of the previous squaddies, if that's the right terminology to use, and officers within that land in some of the disused buildings there. And we was told about a plane, an accident happening with a plane where one being got killed, down to, I think it was an explosion of the engine, or there was some issue with one of the engines whilst the plane was stationary. And anyway, the interesting thing is, why I bring this up is we was doing a piece outside of these buildings to camera, and we was talking away, and the next minute we heard, both me and a colleague, this almighty loud bang. It was a booming bang, as if a bomb had gone off. And then we felt the floor shake, the vibration shake, within the floor. And we were both looking at one another in amazement. We couldn't believe what we was hearing, because it didn't seem to affect anybody else in that vicinity. It was as if that was just, we were made privileged to have that experience. And so we started to question the experience, and we then recalled that conversation we had with some of these squaddies, which they mentioned how somebody got killed by an explosion on one of the runways. And so that would tally up with what we was told. So that was very interesting. Again, we wasn't expecting to have that interaction or that evidence come forward. So that was amazing. Also, I would say emotional triggers, such as objects that were maybe used in a location, can also bring forward either spirits that are connected to that object or that location, or even trigger like a replay in time, like I've just described, with us hearing that bomb going off and also feeling the earth shake as it did as well. And so with doing that, this can stimulate a connection with spirits, so you can have that more deep interaction with them in that location. So this can potentially open up a portal as well, if not done correctly. So just be careful with that. But what I would say to everybody that's listening to this, don't just assume that, oh yeah, I'm going on a ghost hunt, I'm going on an adventure, and I'm going to this old castle. You don't have to go to all of these locations that look like they're all singing, all dancing, and you definitely going to get some paranormal activity there. I would say don't always assume that. Just be observant, observe, interact, record the information, and research, and have an open mind. Because when you have an open mind, what you will find is there are paranormal hotspots absolutely littered everywhere. So the next time you're out and about, whether you're in town, just trust your intuition, trust your vibrations, trust what you're picking up, and then record that information, and then maybe delve deep into the history books and do a bit of research. And what you will find is you'll find that you'll amaze yourself with what you've just picked up on, again, in this potential paranormal hotspot that nobody has recalled or registered or even picked up on before. So enjoy your adventures, everybody. We're now moving into the next segment of the show, which is the channeled section, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their communications and wisdom through. But before we do that, I just thought I would ask everybody that's listening, if you've been going through significant changes in your life this week. I know I certainly have. It's almost as if somebody has taken the blinders off, and also there's this level of acceptance that seems to be occurring in my life. I'm resisting these changes that are coming in, and I'm going with the flow a lot more. And I've noticed that I'm comfortable with being in my own company a lot more so. I'm also open to inspiration that's coming in, not only from the world of spirit, but from the outside world. So such as nature, and listening to nature and the bird song and the bird calls, and feeling the energy in that. I seem to have become a little bit more sensitive this week as we make our way through the week already. And I've noticed this, just this degree of, I would say, confidence or truth coming up to the surface with myself personally this week. I just thought I'd put that out there and ask that question. If anybody else has been experiencing these things that I'm talking about this week, because I certainly feel as though there is a significant change that's happening, not only to those that are sensitive like myself and various colleagues of mine, but also society in general. There's certainly a shift of some kind that is occurring. So observe it. Maybe you'll go through life without even noticing these things. All I'm asking you to do is just recognize these very subtle changes, and they are very subtle. So you have to be on the ball and paying attention. Anyway, we're going to move into this week's channeling from the world of spirit. So I'd like you to sit back, relax, embrace the healing vibrations in the vocal tones that are emitted by the channel. And if you want to take notes, then please do. Here's this week's channeling from spirit.
Hello. Thank you for allowing me to come through today. I've got many things to discuss with you. One of those things is becoming creative, or at least allowing that creative spark to flow through you. Let's begin this conversation by saying that each and every one of you, scrolling back and taking it back to its true authenticity, are prime creators. You create your reality. You also have an abundance of energy, of streamlines of information and creativity flowing through you in any one given moment. And what we're alluding to in this conversation today is to remind you of the fact that you are primary creators. And many of you have had this ability stamped out of you and stopped in one way or another, to the point where it is causing a block in your energetic field, in your physicality within the body, both mentally and emotionally. And by not expressing yourself through your creative endeavors, or at least allowing this energy to flow out into your dimension through you, is causing you quite a lot of upset. By not expressing this energy, or at least allowing it to flow through you, it is causing many physical symptoms within the physical body. Aches and pains, muscular problems, problems with the blood, problems with all manner of physicalities. And we say to you here today that predominantly a lot of the causes of these things are simply that you are not allowing source energy, creator energy, the beautiful abundance of energy, the creative spark within you to flourish and grow through you. Now, as you know, there's many people that endeavor and do this line of work, such as artists, writers, musicians, actors, they all allow that creative spark to flow through them. But that doesn't make them any better than anybody else just because they allow that. We say to you that you are all more than capable of doing the very same thing. It's a matter of fact that those people in the world of the arts and creativity, it has become second nature to them, and they simply accept the process and allow and go with that energy. Whereas there's a lot of people that have been conditioned one way, shape or form to siphon or close that stream of energy down, because there is no future in it, there is no money in it, there is nothing back for you. And we say that is absolute poppycock and nonsense, because what is in it for you is you become this clear channel, this vessel, for this energy to synchronize through you and flow out into your dimension. And it gets rid of all of those mental, emotional, physical blocks that you may have been suffering for some time now, where you're finding yourself feeling agitated or angry or even frustrated in your current reality, and you can't seem to put a finger on what is causing this problem and issue. You've tried many things. You can't seem to settle with one particular project or one particular pastime or interest. You find yourself skipping from one to the other, eluding yourself that if you try something different, you will find that missing piece in the puzzle, so that you can feel complete and comfortable in your own skin, in your own vibration. We say to you that the moment that you accept this creative energy and know that you are a creator, creating every moment of your reality, the minute that you accept and allow that vibration and energy to flow through you is the very moment that your life begins to change. We'll start with your physical being. You'll notice that you'll have an increased level of physical health. You'll notice that you'll also have more energy and vitality. You'll notice that you'll be very interactive with your communications with people instead of being insulated and isolated. You will notice that you will start to change your eating habits and also the habits of your social circles. You'll find yourself changing in miraculous, very efficient and fast ways. All of these things will begin to occur, starting with you simply removing those old belief systems that have been, shall we say, placed upon you to stop you flourishing and discovering the fact of the matter that you are a prime creator and you can manifest and bring forward whatever it is you're wanting to create, not only into your world, but your dimension as well. But it all starts with allowing that flow. So what we would say to you is, like with many things, you have to build that up. It doesn't just happen overnight. And you build this strong energetic stream through you by simply allowing yourself to go into creative endeavors such as doodling, scribbling, writing the thoughts that pop in your mind down onto paper. This is a great start, as it's allowing that stream of energy to flow through you. And you'll see it's removing all of those stoppages and blocks that have since stopped this stream of energy from flowing. You can start by doing that. You can start by singing, making a point of singing. Doesn't matter what you're singing or where you're singing. The fact that you're allowing it is part of the process. Many of you will find yourself, if you give yourself permission to allow this energy, in laughing and creating joviality and funny moments and you're not understanding where those words or where those jokes are coming from. And we say to you, this is again you allowing that stream of creative energy to flow through you out into your vibration. So this is the start of the process occurring for you. And once you understand that you are prime creators, then it's a case of whatever you're focusing your mind, your feelings, and your attention on is what is going to be the reality in your presence, in your incarnation, if you hold that frequency. And this is something that, shall we say, a certain pocket of society that doesn't want you to focus your attention on, because once you start to do that, the game is up for those that have a level of control and upon you. So you'll find yourself actually creating your own communities by simply allowing yourself to flex this creative muscle. And it all starts by clearing the stream, allowing the stream of energy to flow through you rather than you blocking it and saying, no, I haven't got time to draw. I haven't got time to sing. I've got all of this to do. And we say to you that it is very important that you factor in this time. We're not telling you what to do, obviously, but we're simply advising and suggesting that this would be to your higher advantage. Because once you do, you'll notice that your life will change very, very quickly, because you're allowing this stream of creative energy to flow through you. It's going to remove all of those stagnant energy blocks, all of those emotional hurts that you've been clinging onto. They're going to be healed. And all of that mental anxiety that you've been placing yourself under, because simply you've been trying to figure too much out in your mind. And it's been causing great distress upon not only your mental state, but this trickles and flows down into your emotional state, which then manifests into your physical being, into some sort of misalignment or illness. So you see, it is a degree of urgency to start this stream of energy flowing through you. And like we say, any form of creative endeavors will start the flowing through you. So if you feel that urge to sing, if you're out, wherever you happen to be, most of you will suppress that energy because you have a fear of some kind of what somebody else will say to you for doing it, the fear of judgment of others. And we say it's those sort of energy blocks that are stopping this prime reality, this prime source energy flowing through you. So simply allow, and know and feel into the vibration as you're fulfilling these tasks, how good it begins to feel to you. And you'll notice that you'll feel that healing. You'll feel that change in your vibration occurring as you simply allow with this beautiful energy. Now you'll be able to tap into thoughts and ideas and creative endeavors from the ether once you allow this energy to flow through you. The ideas will simply just come in. You set that intention that I would like to create something today. I have an allotted moment in time to do that, and simply sit in that vibration, that energy, that creative space with non-judgment, with a clear, open mind, and simply allow. And you will be amazed of what information and what creations come through you with you allowing this to occur. So that is our little conversation with you all today. We hope that's given you something alternative to think about and focus on, and understand that when you allow this energy to simply be with you, your life will improve tenfold, faster than you think, and it will have a ripple effect into every other area of your life on a positive level. Please accept our love and our healing as we leave you with this vibration. We thank you for listening.
Wow, yet again, another fantastic transmission there from the world of spirit. And very important that they raised the subject matter about us allowing our creativity to flow through us, because we do have a tendency to feel stifled and agitated if we do not allow this process to occur. So it was nice to hear all about that and that encouragement behind that as well. And also to be reminded that we are creators, and when we're not creating, we're not feeling fulfilled, we're not feeling that flow of energy moving through us. And so this is where the agitation, as I've said, builds up and can manifest into maybe physical ailments or issues within the physical, mental or emotional body there. But also it was nice to actually hear that encouragement by allowing this creative process to flow through us. It actually is going to help our physical body, it's going to help our mental body, and also our emotional body as well, as we're going to feel the healing benefits of expressing these endeavors, whether this is writing, whether it is drawing, whether it is dancing, singing, whatever it happens to be, or even just movement or going out and about, just expression in general, and allowing this creative energy to flow through us will actually help us in so many ways in our lives. So step out of the way and simply allow and align with the vibration that's wanting to birth through you. Nice to hear that actually being a clear channel for source energy and allowing this to come through will also not only help you but help others around you. As your vibration heightens, it will have a magnetic flow with those in your vicinity as well. And your life will obviously change for the better when you simply get into this vibration of creativity. So there's a project for everybody to maybe dive into this week. Just simply allow. It's not about the end result. It's about the process and allowing that flow. So we're going to move on into the next segment of this episode, which is this week's energy forecast reading. Hopefully it will align with you. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's energy forecast reading.
Hello, my name is Glenn Boddice and I'm a spiritual medium, and welcome to this week's energy forecast reading for the week commencing Monday the 27th of May 2024. Now, those of you that watch me work will know that I connect with my spirit guides and helpers, and also I'm going to link in with the angel tarot cards today. So let me shuffle the pack and allow a card to come out for this week's energy forecast reading. Okay, so here is your card for this week's energy forecast reading. I'm now going to link into the vibration of that. First of all, what I'm feeling around the energy of this week is there's going to be a significant change around your heart chakra, an opening of the heart chakra, you being more transparent and allowing everybody to see who you truly are. The facets of your personality that you've been masking away for fear of judgment from people, I feel as though those elements now have gone, and it will see this week you standing tall, being more confident and having more fun. Also, I sense that this week there's going to be a dramatic change in the way that you make your decisions. You're going to be just coming straight out with it. You'll have a definitive answer and you'll know exactly what you want. And you won't hold back in terms of communicating this information to those people around you. I do feel as though that you'll have more of an insight as well this week. What I mean by that is I feel as though your eyes have been opened. You've gone through lots of changes throughout the course of your life. And I do feel this week is you stepping into a new chapter in your life where you're more alert, where you're more attuned, where you're feeling more happy, you're extracting moments of fun in any situation that you happen to be involved with. I'm also being told that watch out for you experiencing sniffles or a tickly cough in the throat area. This is simply energy realigning with you as you are moving into this new direction on your timeline. And I feel as though what's happening is your senses are being amplified. And the tickly cough is emphasizing there's this wrestling match between the old version of you that would have held back your communications, again, for fear of what people think or say about you.
This week is that birthing process where you're moving beyond those fears and you're just coming out with it and saying it anyway. And people are going to look up to you differently as you operate in this way, because people are going to warm to you and they're going to find your vibration enchanting, enlightening, and they'll want to spend more time in around your vibration because they will find it also helps them to do the very same, for them to speak their truth and feel comfortable about doing that, not only in your presence, but when they're around their friends and family and social circles. This week will also see you addressing the balance in your life. And whereas before you didn't see the wood from the trees, I feel this week you're just going to call something out that's happening in your life, that's taking your energy, that's zapping your power. And you're just going to come out with it and say, well, I'm not doing that anymore. I've got other things to do that I can be focusing on. There's this, again, going back to what we were saying, this definitive decision-making process that's just going to come to you this week, and you're not going to hold back. I want to say, in terms of your feelings, in terms of emotions and a connection to maybe a loved one, or even connections in a relationship, to do with the heart chakra, I do feel this week, again, there's not going to be any dilly-dallying about your communications. You're just going to come out with it of how you feel. And if this is in fact in connection with a romantic relationship, I do feel as though that you will be well equipped to express your truth. And actually, I'm feeling you feeling more confident, more comfortable about remaining vulnerable, even if you're in a relationship, you're married, if you're single, you're just going to find it a lot easier to express yourself this week. So let's turn over the card and see what the card has to say for you. At the top of the card, we've got number 11. So I'd like you to research the angel number of number 11, as there's additional support and information. When I do see number 11, 1 and 1, to me it looks like a partnership. Two people coming together, a partnership of some kind. So watch out for that. Underneath that, it says strength. So this is talking about you actually endeavoring into this week, having that courage to live your truth, be your truth, and be a shining example of how others can obtain their truth. Underneath that, it says Archangel Ariel. I'm going to link into the vibration of that. And what this feels to me, I'm hearing the words energetic downloads, both giving and receiving. So this week you're going to gain some inspiration and you're going to inspire others. So watch out for that unfolding for you. In the information at the bottom of the card, it reads, great inner strength, release harsh judgments, forgiveness, and compassion. Now, what I feel this is referring to is, as I say, you're going to have the more confidence to express who you are this week. It's also talking about releasing the judgments of yourself from the past, how you used to be and how you've all of a sudden changed this week. Don't have any judgments on that. Just observe the transition and be grateful and be present as you do that. And also, I just feel that compassion is talking about you being more compassionate to yourself as you move into this new chapter in your life. Looking around the card, we've got the color of blue around the edge. To me, that's talking about communication. We mentioned that tickle in the throat area earlier. That is, again, the old version of you, and you actually speaking over that old version of you and getting your courage to do that, and speaking clearly. But there will be this wrestling match between the old version of you and the new version of you. But just when you feel that urge to say something, just say it anyway. And don't worry about any consequences. Also, it's talking about your emotions. And again, this could be communicating your emotions clearly to others, whether this is in a romantic setting or if it's in a work or career setting. I just feel as though where you felt that fear before, this time you're just going to feel that courage and say it anyway. So that's what I feel that represents. Looking into the artwork of the card, we've got a tiger there. So I'd like you to research the animal totem of the tiger. To me, that's talking about energy. It's talking about being stealth-like and striking when you see an opportunity. Also, it's talking about camouflaging, knowing when when to come forward and when to step back there as well. And there's something about setting boundaries and setting your territory. So please do research the animal totem of the tiger. Also in the artwork, we've got this divine feminine angelic being that's actually sat on the tiger there. That's talking about your sensitive side. It's talking about you being more observant this week. It's also telling you that it's time to spread your wings and walk on a new timeline in your life, one of positivity. Never mind what's happened in the past. Start and move forward courageously with positivity. And by doing that, you're going to attract positive situations, people and events into your life. Also, the fact that this feminine energy is taking a ride on this tiger, this is telling you to actually, with your sensitivity, also knowing when to shield that sensitivity, when to come forward, when to step back there. And it's also talking about trusting that intuition of yours rather than reacting to life. Trust your gut instincts as they won't lead you wrong this week. There's two doves there as well. So to me, that's talking about messages coming in. And I feel, as though we mentioned earlier, like a partnership up here. So I feel it's either a messenger message between two people, maybe building either a relationship or building something together, a project or something coming together. And I'm hearing the phone pinging quite a lot with these messages. So do watch out for that this week. Communication is essential, and be yourself and don't be afraid to come forward of the truth of who you are. Also in the background, there's rainbows there. That's talking about the chakra system. I'm also hearing that song Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and I'm hearing your dreams will come true. Hold fire, hold your faith, and trust the process. Everything's working out for you. So that's what we've got for this week's energy forecast reading. I do hope that has aligned with you. Thank you for hearting, liking, commenting and sharing. If you've enjoyed what you've seen on here, you would like to help and support the work that I do, I have got a buy me a coffee link either above or below this video, which is a virtual tip jar. So all of your generous donations will be gratefully received and used in accordance with the spiritual work that I do to help people raise their vibration and ascend on their pathway. If you'd like to have or experience any of my services, either personal readings or whatever, go over to my website www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com or find me on Facebook, Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium. Send me a message and make your booking there. You can join me every Monday at 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time with my radio show From Beyond with Glenn Boddice, talking about all things spiritual, paranormal and self-help on www.pulsetalkradio.com. Have a fantastic week, everybody. Bye for now. Well, it sounds like we're in for a very interesting, transformative week ahead, doesn't it, by the sounds of that forecast reading. So I hope that aligns with you and at least helps you make your way through the course of this week. What I would like to thank you is for listening and supporting this show. I do hope that you find the spirit-inspired and the channeled information very inspirational to help you in your life, whatever pathway you seem to be treading on. Can I also extend that invitation for anybody that has any questions that they would like to fire at the show, whether this is of a paranormal nature, self-help, or even spiritual endeavors? It would be fascinating to hear from you. And also, when I convene with my co-host, Christina Bloom, we can discuss some of your questions there and answer them with quite some depth, I would say, from two different energy workers, two different mediums. So please get in touch by going over to www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com, or you can email me at glennboddice@live.co.uk. As ever, it would be fantastic to have that interaction with you and bring forward some of your questions and bring those answers to light for you there. So what I want to wish you is a wonderful week ahead. Maybe, like I said earlier, just observe how your week is unfolding and notice these very subtle changes that are happening around us. I've heard many people talk about it, and now I'm experiencing it firsthand there as well. So just, be a little bit observational with your emotions and your life and what's happening around you. Anyway, you can join me at the same place, the same time, which is 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, with this very show From Beyond with Glenn Boddice on www.pulsetalkradio.com. So whatever it is you happen to be doing this week, make sure that you're putting lots of love and passion and enthusiasm into it, and that it aligns with your greatest good. Have a fantastic week, everybody. Bye for now. See you soon.
Thank you for listening to From Beyond. For more information about what products and services Glenn provides, go to Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium